Hello there, this is round number 3 of this replay video. You can see here I am on the draw with a very intriguing hand. This hand is very good against a lot of matchups. It's very bad if I need to be fast. I think this hand's very good against like Jund, for example. I just get to progress my land drops. I get to go turn 1 Teleria West, turn 2 Amulet, Explore, turn 3 Dryad, and I have enough blue mana to Pact for like a turn 4 Titan. It just on the draw. I think this is based on the matchups I've been facing so far this league. I think this keep is fine, but that's why I mistakenly kept it. Just looking at this hand, I don't think it does enough the more I thought about it. And as soon as I kept it, I was like, this is a hand I don't think I should keep, but you can see the argument for why you'd want to keep it. But even the bounce land is just like, I don't know. So this hand is a bit slow. If I was in the play, it'd be a little bit better, but I think it's just a little bit too slow for what I'm generally trying to do in Modern. So I think I should have mulliganed this, but I did not. Again, the argument is this hand is very good against fair decks. And then my opponent drops I said that as soon as I kept it, my opponent drops a power plant. I lead off with the castle because it's a little bit faster than like a Teleria West. And then I am saying, well, if I draw a second Amulet here, I can be in game. My opponent's primed to have a expedition map, like Tron, out right now. Here they go, drop another map. And that's about it. So I'm thinking maybe they have a handful of nothing. So I drop Dryad. I'm just trying to progress my mana here. I just want to be in the best possible situation I can be in. My opponent Ugins me with a Sanctum here. So my opponent, I had a turn for potential Titan. My opponent had a turn for Ugin and a turn 5 Ulamog. So that's obviously much better than what I'm doing. And I'm going to concede to the Ulamog. Because once this Ulamog attacks, I just can't beat it. So that's game 1. Sideboarding. We'll get to that in a second. Here's my sideboard. So obviously, Engineered Explosives, Bajuka Bog, Radiant Fountain. I did side out a Pact, an Azusa, and 2 Explorers. I did not side in Reclamation Sage, which is something I was considering. I did side in my Counter Magic, and I think that's very, very strong in this matchup. Also sided in Tectonic Edge and my Beast Within. I think Beast Within is just a very flexible sideboard card for Amulet right now. This hand here has everything but a Titan, but it does have, it can explode into a Titan. So I think that it's a perfectly reasonable keep here. Opponent mulled to 6. Not exactly what I want to draw, but slowly trying to get ahead here. Opponent plays that map, they get off the Ancient Stirrings. And there we go, there's my Titan. Opponent fetches the wrong land, sends me a chat message because I sent back a question mark. But either way, what I was going to be able to do is Titan, attack, and get a Ghost Quarter and blow up one of the lands. So I felt pretty solid in this spot, even if my opponent didn't concede to their own mistake. Even if they grabbed the power plant instead of the mine, I think I still win game number 2. Let's go to game number 3. So now I am on the draw. So this hand is very slow, but I have a Once Upon a Time, turn 1, which can get me a ramp spell, and then this can get me my Titan. I can go turn 2 negate if I don't get a ramp spell and I end up getting like an extra land. I can also hold up like a turn 2 once upon a time if I grab like a gemstone mine or a forest. So this negate I feel like is very solid in this matchup. Obviously it doesn't stop Ulamog, but I don't really care about Wormcoil. So I think this is a very decent 7. Obviously not fast. So I'm going to once upon a time grab the gemstone mine and lead off with this Teleria West here. Opponent struggles here. They're struggling to get going a little bit. And I'm going to hold up either negate or once upon a time. They crack the map for a tower, and I'm going to cast once upon a time and just pick up the Ghost Quarter. I'm in an awkward spot here. I'm just going to stop. What I choose to do is, so here I can either play the Dryad and set myself up for a Titan next turn, or I can hold up Disdainful Stroke because my opponent's clearly representing the capacity to drop something big on me. But I don't really want that to happen. So what I could do is I could also Ghost Quarter them and still hold up mana. But again, I'm not really afraid of Wormcoil. So I think that Ghost Quartering them and holding up mana is kind of just... I'm doing the same thing twice. It doesn't really make sense. So I hold the Ghost Quarter because I need extra mana to eventually drop my own Titan anyway. And I decide to just rely on my counter magic this turn. I think negating a Sylvan Scrying is a very good line here, and I get rewarded for it since my opponent is land light, which is kind of obvious when they played that forest. Now here, I'm going to play the Dryad, play a bounce land, pick up the Ghost Quarter, play the Ghost Quarter, and I'm going to blow up one of their lands. At this point, I took my shields down. My shields are down, and I am just now saying I can't counter something, but you're not going to be able to cast something big this turn. And then next turn, my follow-up play can be pacting for a Ramanop, and then Ghost Quartering my opponent twice. They have 2 forests in play, and most Tron lists play 2 forests. So I'm at a point when I feel like I can get very far ahead here. They Sylvan Scrying for another tower and cycle through. And here I get a cute little trick where you can use Gemstone Mine as any land. You don't have to take a counter off of it. Here I packed, grab that Ramanop, play him, and rebuy Ghost Quarter. Okay, this opponent ends up having 3 forests, which is a bit more painful than what I was expecting. But I'll pay my pact here and effectively just try to lock my opponent out of this game. Next turn I can play another Dryad and then Ghost Quarter them 3 times in 1 turn. They also have this Oblivion Stone, which I could Beast Within, but that would be really, really silly of me since my creatures are smaller than the 3/3 effectively, and they need 5 mana to be able to blow this up. If I Ghost Quarter them 2 or 3 times, they're not going to have 5 mana. So I swing for 4, Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter. I should be Ghost Quartering the forests probably at this point, but and then I can play another Dryad, Ghost Quarter them again. And my opponent will be stuck with 2 lands in play, and I will have 6 power and kill them in 2 hits. So, cute little way to beat Tron. Very happy with it. I think that kind of showed that you can play Amulet a variety of different ways. It doesn't just have to be Jam Titan, Trigger Field, Trigger Valakut, and win. You can still play Amulet Titan as this value mid-range deck, even against decks like Tron. So, that's the matchup here. 3-0. Hope you liked it.